I'm Aaron Baker from PhoneDog.com, and it's part 2 of the review of the Samsung Galaxy S4 Active. For you people that are hard on your phones, you're going to want to take note because this device is made for you. Is it worth getting, or should you go with the HTC One or perhaps the flagship Galaxy S4? Let's find out in part 2. It's part 2 with the Samsung Galaxy S4 Active, a new member of the Samsung Galaxy S4 line of devices. Now, Samsung's taken a different approach this time around and launched a number of Samsung Galaxy S4 devices that fit different lifestyle profiles. So perhaps you're hard on your phone. The Galaxy S4 Active may be the device for you. Perhaps you enjoy taking pictures. The Galaxy S4 Zoom is going to be for you. Maybe you want a smaller device. The Galaxy S4 Mini is going to be for you. But in this video, part 2 particularly, we're talking about some of the differences between the S4 Active and the S4, both of which are available on AT&T, both of which are available in the United States, and arguably both of which are very similarly spec'd with the exception of a few key differences, which we'll talk about in the video. Before I do that, special thanks to our partners at Best Buy Mobile for giving us S4 Actives and more for use in our One Paw Bandit giveaway game. When you walk into Best Buy Mobile to get AT&T, Verizon, Sprint, or T-Mobile, they'll help you because they're unbiased. They'll help you find the right carrier and the right phone for you at Best Buy Mobile. So we'll jump right in here and take a look at some of the speed tests, and I'm going to start with quadrant standard so you can see how this thing performs in day-to-day use. Now, if you didn't catch part 1, first of all, go back and watch it, but second of all, this device from a performance standpoint is very similar to the Galaxy S4. It's packing the same 1.9 gigahertz quad-core Snapdragon 600 CPU. It also has a 5-inch display, though, as I said in part 1, it is not a Super AMOLED display, it's an LCD display. So as a result, and we'll talk about this more in the extended dogfight, we've already done a versus battle, but in the extended dogfight, we'll talk about this. You do see some color differences between the LCD and the Super AMOLED on the Galaxy S4. The Super AMOLED is a little bit more yellow, whereas the colors here, for me, are a little bit more true to life. So, for example, this white is very, very white on the Galaxy S4 Active. It's a little bit more of a yellow tint on the Galaxy S4. Those are the kind of things you want to keep in mind. If you want a screen that's a little bit, from a clarity standpoint, a little bit more like regular colors, this could be it. But speed-wise, 2 gigabytes of RAM here, 16 gigabytes of internal storage, 2,600 milliamp hour battery. It's pretty similar from a performance standpoint all around. 11,897 on this device on quadrant standard. And we'll load up speed test as well because this device does pack AT&T 4G LTE in markets that support it. So megabits per second, we'll agree over here and jump right in to a speed test just to see what we get out of the gate. So loading up on speed test, AT&T 4G LTE, obviously incredible in the Dallas metro area. This is one of AT&T's 2 home markets, so you find it to be pretty fast all around. 21 megabits per second on the download, about 8 to 9 megabits per second on the upload, and then all around pretty speedy. I'll do one more just so you can see what it looks like in the test here. But if you have 4G LTE connectivity, you're going to be pretty pleased with this device. Not going to disappoint by any stretch of the imagination. So load this up, about 14 megabits per second. I see speeds as high as 40 to 50 megabits per second in my home, which is near Uptown. So take that as you will. Very, very fast speeds depending on what market you're located in, how saturated that market is, and more. Now, much like the Galaxy S4, I find the battery life to be equally good on this device as I do on the Galaxy S4. You know, every now and again, an OEM just hits the perfect sweet spot with battery, and battery is a big one for me because I'm traveling all the time for work. I'm on the road, not always near a charger, so battery in my list of top 5 most important things in a cell phone is like number 2 or number 3 on the list. This doesn't disappoint, nor does the Galaxy S4. 2,600 milliamp hour battery is really a nice sweet spot because the 2,300 milliamp, I can usually make it through a day with the HTC One, but it's just a smidgen too small for me. I find that in heavy cases, I do have to charge a second time throughout the day. Don't have to do that with the Galaxy S4 or the S4 Active. I find it to be pretty nice all around and works throughout the day unless I'm just going hard. Or as the kids say, going like a ham, or going ham, not like a ham, going ham on this device. So you can see picture quality is very good here. 8 megapixel camera on the Galaxy S4 Active. It is less from a megapixel standpoint than the S4, but you get some very similar settings here, including the ability to turn on voice recognition where I can say cheese and the like, and it can take the picture. And then of course I get all this stuff here as well, auto, beauty face, including a mode, which you'll see here in just a second, aqua mode, which I can use the volume rocker button and take pictures underwater. Now, it's not going to be the most amazing picture by any stretch of the imagination, but still nice to have that feature on this device. You'll notice down here as well, vintage posterized, you've got kind of an Instagram filter-like look and feel here, but comparing this to the Galaxy S4, which I'll show you over here. Actually, I have one on my desk, so I'll show you a comparison shot between the two, just looking at the little differences between. Not only can you see the dual shot mode here, but you can also see, and I'll turn this off so we can take a look at the filters on the Galaxy S4. You can see that it real time shows the actual picture. So for example, if I had the Optimus G Pro down here, you can see in real time what those filters look like over here, whereas over here it just shows the flowers. It does not show a real-time picture. So minor differences, but differences nonetheless between Samsung's iconic flagship device and then the S4 Active, which is just another member of the Galaxy S4 family. Now, overall, like I said in part one, TouchWiz, pretty similar implementation here, same widgets, same look and feel, really no differences here. Pinch to zoom all operates the same. I can press and hold this to access my task manager. I can double tap it to open up S-Voice if I want to, and then I have S-Translator installed on this as well. So a lot of the similar kind of life companion-ish things that we saw with the Galaxy S4 over here on the S4 Active also. Keypad, everything kind of looks the same. Keypad here, logs, favorites, and contacts, all with the white backdrop. And likewise with messaging, forgive me while I pull it away to make sure there weren't any text messages in here that I was testing. You can see white background here as well, and like I talked about in part one, pretty easy to type on. You got the Samsung keyboard and swipe out of the box, and I can use swipe. We'll turn off, or we'll get rid of hey. And I'm terrible at this, but you can use it on both the Samsung keyboard or on swipe, which comes pre-installed as well. So all in all, really like this device. I mean, specs-wise, yes, it drops the 13 megapixel camera for the 8 megapixel camera, but it does gain IP67 certification. And the build quality here, while it's still plastic, may appeal to somebody that wasn't necessarily wooed by the Galaxy S4. This has an industrial look and feel. A lot of people are going to like this that are hard on their phones. And people may look at this and just say, I like this design better than the Galaxy S4. Yes, you lose the 13 megapixel camera. Yes, you lose the dual shot capabilities, but you do still have most of the TouchWiz implementation stuff, air view, air gesture, all the motion control stuff, and then you do get, of course, a really nice device that withstands water for the most part, or I should say a little bit of water for the most part. So it depends on what you want. If you're wanting something where you can be hard on your phone, it can take a tumble and still keep ticking, this is going to be a good device for you. If you're wanting something with that top-notch camera performance, then either the S4 Zoom or the S4 is going to appeal to you. Like anything else in this mobile world, and more increasingly in 2013 and beyond, you're going to have to pick and choose what's most important to you and pick a device from there. This has a great rounded list of specs and features, and it really works well for those people that are hard on their phones. Keep it locked on PhoneDog.com for more on the Galaxy S4 Active. I'm on Twitter at PhoneDog_Aaron. I'm on Facebook at Facebook.com/HiAaronBaker, on Google Plus at gplus.to/PhoneDog. I'd love to hear from you. Let me know what you think of this device in comparison to any other high-end devices on the market. Thanks for watching. More to come next time on the Galaxy S4 Active. I'll see you next time.